Hey friends, it's Corey from Hey Let's Make Stuff. Welcome to my very crowded desk. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to engrave wood boxes. Now there may be several reasons you want to engrave a wood box. I'm going to be making Christmas Eve boxes for my boys in this video, but you might also be making treasure boxes or memory boxes. Another box I want to make is a memory box for one of our dogs that we lost a few years ago because we have his collar and some other things and I want to put it all in a little box. So these boxes are all from Makerflo. I actually have two sizes here. I have their large box and their medium box. I know it's kind of hard to see because I've got a lot going on here. They come in this natural wood color as well as some other colors, and I really like the quality. They're lined with felt, so I think they're gonna make really great Christmas Eve boxes for my boys. If you haven't heard about Christmas Eve boxes, don't worry, this is not something that you have to do. We always give our boys a little gift the night before Christmas. Usually it is their Christmas pajamas and like a little stuffy or some candy. So I'm making a box for that. It's sort of a tradition that some families have. It might be something that you want to add with your kids or your grandkids. I think it's really fun, and it means that I can reuse the packaging every single year. To make this project, you are going to need a laser that has some sort of riser feature, and that's because the boxes are really tall. So technically, while my Glowforge Aura or my Glowforge Spark could engrave these boxes, there's no way to remove the base, and so there's no way to get something tall like this box in there. So today I'm using my Xtool M1 Ultra. I could also use my Xtool S1, or I could use my Recreate Vision because it has that auto rising feature. So you're just going to need to make sure that your laser does have some way for you to fit a larger piece of material inside the bed of the machine with some sort of riser. Now these boxes aren't particularly expensive. However, I don't think you really would want to ruin one, especially if you've only bought enough for your project. So I have a few options here and I wanted to show you. So this is their large size box. They actually have one that's a little bit wider. This box fits in my Xtool M1. The larger box doesn't. So I'm going with this. I have two of them, one for each of my twins, and then these are going to run you about $13 each. So not so bad for a wood box. And then I picked up a smaller wood box as well. And this is basically going to be my test box. So for $8, I'm gonna do a test grid on the top of this so that we can see the exact setting that we want to use on these more keepsake boxes. Yes, I'm basically wasting $8, but I feel like that's better than wasting $13 on a box that I'm not super happy with. So I'm basically gonna sacrifice this little box. I'll probably end up using him somewhere in my craft room to store craft supplies. But I am going to show you how to do a test grid so that you can actually figure out the best settings so that your keepsake boxes turn out perfectly. All right, to start, I am going to put my small wood box here in my laser. So inside my machine here, I have my honeycomb base on the second level here in the riser. And that's gonna give me the right height for my box. So I'm gonna put my box in here just like this, try and get it pretty straight. And then I'm going to move the laser head basically to the corner of the box. This is a little awkward just from the angle that I'm doing it at, but we're just gonna put it at the edge of the box there. Now let's pop into Xtool Creative Space and we can set up our test grid. All right, to start, we're going to click on a rectangle. We're just gonna make a little rectangle here. I'm going to go up here and change it to 0.4 by 0.4. And then we want to engrave it. Then we can click on Material Test Array. And I usually keep these settings the same. And it will basically create a test array for us. And all of these have a different setting. They're all nicely labeled for us. Then we want to click on Auto Measure to measure the height between the laser itself and our box. All right, so our height is 0.866, that's fine. Now I want to do some framing. And this will make sure that our image will actually fit on our box. So I'm going to click Framing. And then I'm going to walk over to my machine and I'm going to press this silver button, and it's basically going to draw an outline of where our image will go. So you can see as it does its framing, it's going to fit on the box. I really don't care about it being centered in this case. Once the framing is done, I can click Framing Completed. And then I can go to Process. This screen will give you a bunch of information. It has some things about the processing path. You want to make sure that you have your laser module, that you're using that riser base. And then you can click Start. Then I'll walk over to my machine, press the button, and we can engrave our test grid. All right, in the overhead here, you could see that I actually had an issue with this test grid. So this has happened to me before. I probably shouldn't have set the settings so slow or so high in power because I actually ended up with a small fire and it wouldn't continue. However, I am actually really happy with this middle one here. So this would be the middle of my grid. So I think I'm going to figure out what this one was and go with it. All right, one of the nice things about Xtool Creative Space is that you can have more than one project open at a time. So I actually uploaded my file here in a new tab. So I want to make this North Pole delivery file. Now I got this from Creative Fabrica, and obviously it looks kind of weird here with this purple layer. It came in this way, so I want to show you how to fix it so that if you get a file like this, you can fix it. So it's supposed to look sort of distressed, but instead of distressed, we sort of have this weird purple layer. So we can see that all of our black pieces are separate and all of our purple pieces are separate. This is very annoying, but thankfully Xtool Creative Space actually makes this pretty easy. So down here in the lower left, you can see the layers. So I'm going to select the black layer, and it's going to basically select everything that's black. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to unite it. So it's going to be one single black image. I'm going to do the same with the purple. It now selects all those tiny purple pieces, and I'm going to unite it. Now we are just working with two pieces. We have a purple piece and a black piece. So I'm going to select both, and then I'm going to click on this button up here for subtract. And that's basically going to cut out everywhere the purple is on the black. So let's hit it. And now it looks like it's supposed to look, a sort of distressed stamp. All right, I placed my box inside the laser and I put the laser head in the top left corner. So that's where this X is. So how do we know how to fit this in the middle? So the easiest way for me is to actually draw a square the size of our boxes. So I'm going to click rectangle. I'm going to draw us a box here and then we can change the size. So the box, I measured it, it is just slightly under 11.5 inches each way. So I'm gonna go 11.375 by, let's unlock it, 11.375, just like that. And then we can put this where our actual box is. Then we can select our image and place it on our box here. So I'm moving this around a little bit so I can get it in the center. And then I want this to be, no, I don't know, maybe that big, and we can center it within the box. So you can see here I have those kind of guiding lines. That tells me it's centered vertically, and that tells me it's centered horizontally, and that basically will be the center of the box. All right, back here in Xtool Creative Space, you can see that that middle square here is a speed of 205 and a power of 55, and I think that's gonna give me a nice dark engraving without, setting the whole thing on fire. All right, these turned out so cute. I really love the engraving on the front. I have a few goodies, so let's pack these up. So I can open it up here. Let's see, I've got pajamas. Each kiddo gets one of these cute little bears. Thank you, $5 bears at Target. Some peppermint bark, which is one of their favorites, and a couple of candy canes. All right, and that is how you engrave wood boxes. If you have any questions about this process or engraving with your particular laser, please leave those down in the comments. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, please give it a like. Follow my channel for more laser content. I'll see you next time.